Hello and welcome to another handover video. Now this one today is the Dethleffs 600 DS. Now we're going to start on the driver's side of the van, and as always we start with the awning. So it's my handy awning winder here. Now note on the end the little key system there. Now the key goes into your slot up there, you push it right up as far as it will go, twist it to the left hand side and pull it back, and that's now locked into place. Once done, you can now wind the awning out. Now you can extend the awning winder if it's a little bit high with the little black dial there. Twist that out and you can extend the pole out a bit longer. Now as you wind the awning out, you'll notice the legs here. Now these legs, we twist it up, turn it to the right hand side to get the awning winder out. Now these legs, never let these arms go straight. If you let them go straight, say goodbye to your awning. And then you've got the feet here. So what you do with the legs for your awning is push them in, bring them down, and then they slide down to the height that you require. And then once you've got it to that stage there, you have these little grey tabs that you pull out, and they're a bit stiff, but that's now locked into place. So then your legs secured now. Now in the actual awning kit inside the van, you've got the fuel awning winder, you've got a couple of attachments for your awning. So for example, you've got some pegs, so you have some little holes at the bottom of your feet there that you can actually peg your awning down so it's not being blown away in the wind at all. So when we want to take it away, we just basically reverse the whole process. So remove your grey tab there, slide your leg up, and then slide the leg back into itself, and it's just on a bit of a spring system. We just push it back and it clicks into place there. Once done, you can then get your awning winder back out. Again, push it into the key, turn it to the left hand side, pull it back down, and then you can wind it back in again. Now then, so here is your water fill up. Now this is for your fresh water because your tank sits along this piece here. So that's your habitation key. Turn it to unlock it, twist it out, and then you can just get a normal hose, feed the hose in there and just fill it up. And you can monitor that on the control panel inside the van. So whilst one's filling up, the other could be monitoring it and you'll see your water level rising. Obviously once done, turn it off, away you go, and lock it back up when you're done. Stop someone from tampering with it. Now at the rear of the vehicle, this particular one has got parking sensors down below. Then we've also got a reversing camera. Now on the reversing cameras, we just advise that you get a little cloth every now and again and just wipe the camera over because they do get a bit traffic filmy and then you can't really see out of them very clearly. So as we enter the rear of the van, got a couple of things. So these little black dials here, someone made a good point to me, I forgot about these on the last one. You push the dial in and that then unlocks your door, so then it's now freely going out. So if it's a bit windy, I probably wouldn't recommend doing this because it's freestanding and it can be quite blustery, put a lot of strain on the door. But normally you can just click it into position like that and it's done. If you're having a barbecue, something like that, it's a nice day, open it a bit wider, it's not in your way. You've got your gas locker here, which on the Dethleffs is nice and big. You can get about an 11 in there, possibly two 11s and a 6 kilogram as well. There's plenty of space in there. Now to connect those up, you have the Truma system, and then you'll have the orange pigtail, which is a reverse thread onto the gas bottle, and then you've got the black primer. So whenever you connect a gas bottle, which we do for you on handover, whenever you connect one up, just make sure, obviously screw it in nice and tight, get your gas spanner, make sure it's fully secured, and then press the black primer. So once you press that, you'll hear a little tss noise, and you know then the gas will feed through, and you'll see on the Truma system, it will turn green, not red, and you know that your gas is then primed through the van. This is just a gas vent, so it's just a vent for your gas locker. No need to get involved with that. It's just, that's what that is. On the Dethleffs, you have a bit of a storage compartment here. Now this little black toggle, you pull it out, and then that unlocks this little cool drawer. This drawer slides all the way out. Takes about 25 kilograms, as it says in there, but ideal for if you've got bikes in the back here. It's just ideal for tools or something like that. Really good little storage system on these. Again, just pull your black toggle out and make sure it's clicked back into place. So this here is access to your fresh water tank. As I said, it runs on the side and it's very well insulated for winter. So you've got really handy instructions on here. and you've got a little black dial just below, which is what this picture's displaying there. So you turn that 3/4 of a turn, and that will give you 20 litres of travelling water. So if you're travelling around, it's not going to be loads of weight, but it's just enough for what you need. And then if you open it completely with 2 full turns, that'll completely drain your tank. So if you're storing it for winter, make sure you leave that open as well. And then you've also got your big red dial there. If you turn that and open it up, that's access to your fresh water. So every now and again, we just say put a bit of a cleaning agent through there just to keep it nice and fresh. Now, just below here, you'll find the gas isolation tap. So if you are going on a ferry, something like that, you'll be asked to isolate those, but you'll find those just underneath the bed and where you step in. So this compartment underneath the mattress on the left-hand side of the van, as we look at it from the rear, this is your wardrobe. Now, Dethleffs have put a really huge storage locker in there, and they've got a sort of a ribbed effect on there, which is ideal if you've got your coat hangers on your rail there. They're not going to slide around whilst you're driving, which is a really good little idea. But that is a huge storage cupboard just behind your gas locker. So another little handy feature on the Dethleffs are these little boards here. Now, they clip off, and all it is a board just to rest against. So if you're not leaning against the window, so you can take them off if you don't want them. If during the day you want a bit more light going through, you want to open your window. But if you're leaning up against the wall in the back of the bed there, click your board in, and you've got something to lean on. Now on the passenger side of the van now, so this is access to your cassette toilet. So in here, use your habitation key in there, press both buttons in at the same time, and then that will flip up. Right now it's locked. And then it does have a little magnet on there, and it will stick to the side of the van, so it's not going to keep flapping in your way. But you simply pull the cassette toilet up to get it out, and it's just a standard cassette toilet. So you turn the funnel away from you, use the vacuum system, and then it's just unlocking it. So if you've had one of those before, you'll see, but please refer to any of our other handover videos and you'll see the cassette toilet on there. We've also got your boiler vent there. Now this does say on there, hot. So please be careful around there. If you've had the heating on, it will get warm, especially around the side of the window. So just be careful around that piece there. And as you'll see, we are hooked up currently. So your hookup cable's in now, and then you've got the little blue dial on the side there, which just lifts up the top of the hookup cable to allow you to easily get it out. And then just below, we have also got your wastewater, which is just here. Now they do give you a handy little key, which is on a little handle, which we'll show you on handover. Now it's just a tiny little handle with a square end on. You pop the square end on there and you turn, and your pipe's just behind there to release your wastewater. Now just in here, obviously, that is your diesel, which is the main key, so your main driving key, onto there for your diesel to unlock it. And then just below is your AdBlue. So just keep an eye on your AdBlue levels. Your vehicle will tell you when it's getting low, but just never make sure you never run it without any AdBlue in. So as we enter the van now, first thing I'll note is your fly screen. Now, one thing we do say is when you use the fly screen, always try and use 2 hands if possible, because it just evenly distributes when you're pulling on it, and it can affect the screen itself if you pull it from a certain angle. Just always just use 2 hands, one high, one low, and you'll find it much easier. And then you've got your electric step. Your switches are just below here. So hold it down to release the step. And then you've also got your switch just above for your awning light, which is really good in the evening when you've got your awning out. And then just here, we've got your fridge. Now, access to your fridge, dead easy. It's just on the handle there. It can be a little bit stiff sometimes, but just make sure, keep it going, and then make sure it's clicked in before you finish. During winter, we do advise if you are parking it up, just leave it ajar just a little bit like that, just so it can breathe. And then the controls for your fridge, which are all compressor fridges on the campers that we've got here. They're all run on 12 volt and electric. So your power button is there. So you turn it on, you'll see it light up blue, and then you can adjust the temperature. Now these are really easy controls to use. There's also the option for night mode, which just makes it a bit quieter, runs it not with as much power. So we would advise just to keep an eye on that mode if you're running, especially if you're driving as well, so it doesn't use as much power. So just above here, this is where you would mount a TV bracket if you were going to. This one's already been put in with the capability of having a TV power. So you've got 12 volt power supply there, and you've got your aerial cable up there, so you can get your coax cable up quite easily. Now these are really cool. So on the Sunlights, Dethleffs and Heimers, you'll find these little light rails going around. So you can turn these lights on and off, but not only that, you can twist them, take them out. There's another light rail in the back of the van there, you've got two, and you can just put them wherever you like. So right now there's two here, but you don't have to. Put them wherever you want. Twist them in, locked into place, and turn them on. And there's also the possibility to get a USB version of this as well. You can pick these up online as well. Dead easy to get aftermarket, but it's just a little USB, get your phone charged. Now looking at your table, see table's got an extender on. So that little black dial there, if you pull that down, you can actually swing your table right out. You can have it in a couple of different positions. That's then locked in here, but you can go a bit further. So if your seats are round and you want to use your table, you have a nice Sunday dinner, you can swing that right round and then you've got loads more space. And again, the same thing, unlock it, and then you can swing it right back in and then listen for the click once it's in. Now, just below here is the cupboard. Now, this one's quite an important cupboard. So under here, a special we're talking about for winter preparation as well. This is your trip switches. Now, this is quite standard, just like your ones at home. So if ever you get any problems with power, something goes out, you know, you can have a look at those and keep an eye on what's going on there. And this is your boiler drain off. So you've got a little diamond on here. So we would advise during winter time, if you're not going to be using the van, leave the boiler switch open and let it drain out. And then you've noticed you've got a little button down the bottom there. So when you're going to release the water, turn it so it's unlocked, and then you'll hear the water coming out. And then once you've finished, turn it back again, and then make sure you push the button back in. So just on the top here, we've got your gas hob on this side, and you've got your sink to this side, and then you've got your nice storage drawers. So right now, they're locked because you've got this little cycle button here. If you press that cycle button, then it will allow you to open your drawers freely. But when you're traveling, we would just recommend locking the drawers off so they're not going to fly open when you're driving around. And then just in the bathroom, now the DS is special because it's got this quite awesome bathroom, to be honest with you, where you've got the little sliding door. So if you press that little button in there, it extends your shower space. You've got a much larger shower, or you can swing it back round and have a much bigger bathroom area. So you just swing that round, and then obviously you've got your toilet there, which you can unlock, lock off, and then you've got your flusher down the side there. You can change the angle as well, give you a little bit more shower space, and you do have a couple of little hooks as well dotted around. Now you've got your tambour door for the shower, which is just on a magnet, which will stick to the side there. When you're traveling, you do have the little pin at the side here that you can push up to stop it from flying out when you're driving around. So this is now the control panel. So these Lippert ones here are really simple to use. So right now you can see the orange light suggests that we're now plugged in, which is good. If we're not plugged in, you just have nothing there, just like these. And then you've got the main power on and off, and it does memorize what lights are on around the van when you turned it off. You can also check the status of the habitation battery. So if you just hold your finger down on the button there, you'll see we've got full charge in there now, which is really good. And then if you can also check the status of your fresh water, which we've got less than 25%. If that was whole, if that was just a complete blue button there, then you know you've got 25% water, but we've got less than 25 at the moment. And then this is your wastewater, which we currently have nothing, which is always good. So you can check the level. So as I said earlier, when somebody's filling up, you just keep an eye on the levels there by just holding your finger on the button there. And that's as simple as that panel is to use. This is your wastewater heater. Now it's a frost protect. It's not going to warm it up. It's just a frost protect. So if you want that on, make sure you just move it to 1. If you don't want it, just switch it off there. So the trimmer panel here. So as we're looking at the camper van there, if you click into that, you'll currently see it's off, and then you can set the temperature. Once you've decided the temperature you want, you simply press the button in. I'm not going to do it for the purpose of this demonstration, but you set it to the one you want, and you can always scroll it down. And once you've selected that, a little flame will come from the top there to tell you that it's either working, or it'll flash if it's not ready to work yet, if it's too warm to be actioned. Next one is hot water. So if you go in again, hot water, you've got a couple of settings in here. You've got eco, so obviously the slowest way, but the most efficient way. Hot, it'll get warm pretty quick, And then you've got boost, where it will give all the power it's got to that. So if you've got the heating on as well, if you're trying to warm the hot water up and you're trying to put it on boost, it's going to knock the heating off and try and focus all the power onto the hot water. And then you've got the choice. Now this particular van says fuel, which means this is a diesel heater, but it's also a diesel electric heater. So you can choose where you want the heating to come from. If you're off grid, select fuel. If you want to mix it between electric and fuel, you can do. If your vehicle is gas and electric, fuel will say gas instead. And then, like I say, you can choose. So you can have the most powerful electric there, and the most powerful amount of diesel, and then you can have full electric, so it's 1 kilowatt of electric there, or you can have all the power from electric as 2 kilowatts. So again, that's going to be the fastest way of achieving your heating and your hot water. And then you can also set it to just blow cool air through the van. Now this isn't air conditioned, it's just cool air, but you can set it on there and your fan speed, because this is a blown air heating vehicle. Now, as always, thank you so much for watching the Dethleffs 600 handover video. Now, obviously, if there's something you're not sure about, something you want clarification on again, by all means, we will be going through this again with you on the day of handover. This is just a good way for you to get a good idea of what to expect. But thank you again for watching, and we'll see you soon.